Hello YouTube fam, how y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. How you doing, Timsters? How you feeling? Now I want to say, first of all, this is Uncle Tim Reviews. I want to say thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for becoming a part of this community as we talk and discuss various topics. I just want to say this is a safe space for you to vent, talk about how you feel about what's going on in the community as far as collecting and air your grievances out loud. There's nobody here that's going to hate on you. A lot of people may feel the same way you do. And I'm just being serious. Now, someone brought it to my attention and it was like, hey, well, maybe it's the stores raising the prices on the figures and, just trying to recoup some of their losses, far as everything that happened since the pandemic, trying to recoup costs where they can. Now, fam, I started noticing, people were talking to me about DC Multiverse and, G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers. But, one thing a lot of people left out was Neca. A lot of Neca figures done went up in price. And I'm not talking about on a secondary market. I'm talking about at the store level. And I'm pretty sure it's not the store. Because, you look around and, you find this at a lot of retailers that sell them. They all spiked, at a different price point. I found one price point at one store, another price point at this different store. And, the list goes on, fam. It's not like I'm over here just complaining about prices. I'm pointing out that, hell, we're trying to find reasonable alternatives here. And I was thinking maybe Neca could be the reasonable alternative besides Masters of the Universe. I'm thinking Neca. But see, Neca already had a high price point. And I was looking at some of the figures and I was like, whoa. It's just like, man, it make the prices for DC Multiverse, G.I. Joe Classified, and the Power Rangers seem, pretty, mundane. But, you get more with the Neca figure. It's more detailed, it's more realistic. I get that aspect of everything, fam. But you know what? At the end of the day, you pay for what you want. You have money for what you want. Fam, I have friends out there who have no money, but they find a way to get the stuff they want. This is how this works. This is not just somebody sitting there telling you that, oh man, we ain't doing this and we ain't doing that. Fam, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I gotta say, we on the verge of a recession because so many prices don't went up. The gas price is the telltale. And the housing prices. One thing about them housing prices, fam, we seen this before back in 2000? That ain't gonna last. Those prices that are spiked up, whereas it's a seller's market, that ain't gonna last. After a while, people are like, well, I don't really need a house. I don't really need to outbid somebody to get something I really don't want. Something that I'm gonna be stuck with for 30 to 40 years. No. And a lot of Americans right now, there are like, I just rent. And people say you're throwing your money away with renting, but with renting, you could break a lease and leave. But far as a house, it's hard to sell a house when you really don't own the damn house. You got to get a certain amount back to recoup your losses and the bank loss to cover the loan. Fam, so what I'm trying to say is these bubbles that we are riding at the particular moment, far as video games, and you see how those prices are spiked out of this world, far as retro gaming, Super Nintendo, those prices are crazy. PS1, PS2, PS3, those prices are going crazy, but they're coming back down. They're coming back down to reality because, for one, the pandemic is over. And I was stating yesterday in a video that I done that, hey, a lot of these sales that we're getting on these action figures, even with NECA did some sales a while back. I seen some sales in the store, so I was just trying to figure that one out. I never seen NECA figures on sale, but I guess they're trying to push some of this stuff out the door. When you have a magnitude of figures, that, all of a sudden came from various places and, all of a sudden stock that you didn't have, you have an abundance of. And it's sitting there because these prices, again, are ridiculous. And people are like, and parents, birthdays coming, all type of little things coming for the kids and all of that. Like this past Easter, a lot of people didn't vibe with buying toys because they were so expensive. Now, you remember Barbie even went up. She was going crazy with her prices. And Johnny Depp is a real big Barbie fan. He collect vintage Barbies. And people are like, oh, he collect Barbie? Man, you collect what you want. Fam, just because you collect them don't mean that you in there playing with them. It's just what it is. Fam, I looked at it this way. We looking at all of this stuff here, and we're trying to find a common denominator of what's really going on. There's really no common denominator of what's going on. There's a dumpster fire going on right now, a clusterfuck, if we may say. Excuse the language, young people, if you're watching, excuse the language. But that's what's going on. It's a cluster of a lot of nonsense going on because there are so many issues that weren't in play at one point, but now are in play. Again, the stores want, and the toy companies want a part of what the scalpers are getting because, again, Goodwill done raise their prices. Thrift stores done raise their prices. They raised the prices on their video games. They raised the prices on all the Guitar Hero stuff. How I remember, Guitar Hero stuff used to be kind of cheap. Oh, them prices raised, fam. They starting to look at everything for what it is. They like, hey, we could be, sharing in those funds that you are. And a lot now with with a lot of these retailers, as far as thrift stores, Goodwill, Salvation Army, they're starting to get on Amazon now, fam. They're putting the merchandise up there. They're looking at the stuff that these YouTubers are out there talking about, and they're selling the stuff themselves. They're like, wait, hold on. We can make way more money out here now, fam. Now, see, this is the thing that a lot of people are not getting. Again, at the end of the day, fam, you don't see how much a lot of these cats are making. There are so many resellers. There are so many people doing retail arbitrage and all of this other stuff that they come in, pick up so many figures. I seen a guy with a cart full of figures in Michigan. And I'm like, you playing, right? I'm like, man, these must be some good figures, fam. Like I said, I remember when those Alley Vipers dropped. I remember when those Battle Android Troopers dropped, the bat, for the G.I. Joe Classified line. I remember going into a store and I seen a guy running to the front with an arm full of stuff. You may heard the story in my video. Everybody was going up there to see what the hell was going on because he went running. And, he went to check out and start scanning everything, putting it in the bag. They thought he was stealing. You got a big guy running to the front of the store. I was trying to figure. I went to look. I said, oh, man, come on, man. You seen them on the shelf and you grabbed them all. See, at the point in time, Target had a thing going on, just like Walmart did. They had it where you could only get so many at one point in time, but they stopped that because the sales are starting to get bad. So they stopped that a while back because people were complaining. But see, you get a lot of people complaining. Think about it like this. You ever played the game Farmville back in the day or Cityville? Back in the day, these were #1 platform games for the computer. And it was made by Zynga. But anyway, one thing about the game was, you like pick crops and, you build cities, skyscrapers, houses, and Cityville. And in Farmville, you buy cows and horses and all this stuff and all this stuff. But anyway, there were people playing all day long in these games, right? And there were people complaining that they can't get anything because these people are playing all day long. So they started putting restrictions on the game, right? And all of a sudden people were like, wait, hold on. Why are you restricting the people who play all day? These are the people you should be catering to. This is your audience right here. The people that play all day. The people that are investing, putting money into it. But see, what happened was they were catering to the people who wasn't playing all day. So they put restrictions out there, then a lot of diehard fans just stopped playing. Then it started hurting, and and they were like, please come back, and we done fixed the issue. Yeah, you fixed it because you seen that the people who were complaining weren't the people spending money. That's how it always works. You get a lot of people complaining that don't spend money. And the ones who are complaining and are spending money, you don't listen to for some strange reason. But that's the logic of the situation. Everybody want new money. You already got these people money over here, but you want to access new money. But see, new money come with new problems. And that wasn't what they were understanding. Fam, just like I'm saying, with all of this stuff that's going on, you need to understand the backstory of everything that's been happening. Everything that's been happening has been happening for a reason. Because right now, this demand that they're building for everything, for every single item out here, including houses, cars, everything. The shortages they done made, saying that the pandemic is for everything. You know, you fell down the stairs yesterday. That was the pandemic. You know, you get tired of hearing that. You get tired of hearing everything dealing with. You get tired of hearing about the war. You know, no disrespect. Or, you know, my heart goes out to everybody. But you get tired of hearing about just everything that's going on. Mass, you know, everything. My heart goes out to everybody. But you just get tired of it sometimes. Sometimes you want to be in your own little world sometimes and enjoy what you got. You know, and this is what the hobby is for a lot of people. You know, like a retreat, you know, away from all their problems. And you do need that escape. And a lot of people don't get it. You need an escape from your situation. Because if you dealt with your problem every day, trust me, you'd be a miserable ass person. Because you cannot. You got to let it go for a little while. You got to get your man off of it. You got to clear all of this up. The next thing you know, you good to go. You know, like I said, everybody need a break from everything. But fam, I know I veered all the way off the topic. But man, look, I know I was talking about Neca and, you know, and I looked at it this way, man. They have some really detailed figures, fam. And one thing about having detailed figures and a lot of craftsmanship into that, the prices start creeping in, whereas they start getting ridiculous. And a lot of people feel a certain kind of way about everything. Again, at the end of the day, fam, this is a business. And always believe me, if anything, the business is just a business. They don't care about us. Why should they? You know, I understand we spend our money. You know, like I said, remember Neca Haulathon? I know a lot of y'all remember that Haulathon. We couldn't even find the figures in certain places. Like I said, there are so many Targets where I live. And you know, just in my state alone, there's so many. There are more Targets in my state than damn near half of the rest of the United States. That's how jacked up that is. It's like 87 Targets. And do you know I looked through damn near 30 of them and couldn't find the Elvira. I couldn't find half of the stuff. And like I said, like damn near after the whole event was over, that's when pieces started coming out in this particular area. And I was so upset when I started scanning the prices on stuff, man, I just put it down. You know, I looked at the price on the Goliath, I looked at the prices on a lot of this stuff, and I'm like, man, look, you know, they got some great intellectual properties that they acquired from a lot of people, but the prices get me. That's the same thing with Super 7, the prices get me. They have like the same intellectual properties from a lot of the same companies. But you know what?